It's a fun question to start this quarterfinal quadruple header, Courtney, because the NCAA tournament is at stake. Auburn must win to be eligible, trying to get 3 wins in 3 days and do so today against the 3 seed, the mighty Gators. Welcome to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. 2 days down, 3 to go, and our quarterfinal round is set with a couple of double-digit stunners, including 13th seeded Ole Miss upsetting Carlin Pickens in Tennessee, and then Georgia outslugged LSU in the 8-9 game to set up a date with number 1 Oklahoma. The top 4 seeds all in action today, including Arkansas and Alabama. 1 and 2 in the RPI in the country. Next, defending national champion Texas will play today as well. But for now, it is Florida, and it is, as we all predicted, Auburn. Kevin Brown, Amanda Scarborough, great to be back with you from Lexington, Kentucky. Maybe the story of the week so far, the Auburn Tigers needing 3 wins to get to 500 after a 4-20 regular season, and they have slugged their way here.
What a run that they've been on in this tournament. There was a slow start for Auburn to start their first game of the tournament against Missouri. Their bats were really quiet for the first 5 innings, and then the 6th inning hit, and their offense has just absolutely exploded. It's amazing what belief and confidence in the box can do for you. Hitting is absolutely contagious for this Auburn team. They not only took down Missouri in what was a lower scoring close game, but then they took down the 6th seed in Texas A&M in an absolute slugfest. There were 7 home runs hit in that game. Auburn hit 5. In the entire tournament at this point, they have hit 7. Auburn's bats are absolutely on fire.
In the last 8 SEC tournament years, Auburn had only combined for 6. They've gone crazy. They're at 500. Win today, they guarantee a 500 record and pretty much guarantee themselves a spot in the NCAA tournament field. But they've got to get past Florida. This will be the toughest task for Auburn, a team that can slug with anybody in the country.
We know that Florida has always got to put together an offense that's extremely athletic and has a lot of power. They're led with some household names, with Taylor Shoemaker, last year's National Freshman of the Year, Jocelyn Erickson, who has been an SEC Player of the Year, and Kenley Cahalan, who is just having the best season of her career in her senior season. So a couple of seniors in Erickson and Cahalan, and Shoemaker, just a sophomore, but putting up similar numbers to her outstanding freshman year.
3 left-handed sluggers in the lineup for the Gators, who come in at 47-9. 47 wins for Florida on the year, and Keegan Rothrock has collected 26 of those.
She's been throwing a lot for this Florida team because Ava Brown, who was their number 2 early in February and last year, got injured. So Keegan Rothrock has been able to take on a load of the innings, a higher load of the innings, and stay healthy doing it.
Can Auburn keep it going? 1 more win to become eligible for the NCAA tournament. Rothrock with a strike to start Kylie Shaw, who has 2 triples in the tournament. Haven Roebuck down in the 7th spot has 2 of Auburn's 7 homers in the tournament. 6 players have hit the 7 Tiger home runs. A little high with Rothrock and Jocelyn Erickson, the battery today. Kylie Shaw was their teammate a year ago, a little used player at Florida last year, transferred to Auburn this season, where she has thrived. And Shaw fouls this one away for strike 2. These teams played in the regular season. Florida took the series, winning 2 of 3, and they held Shaw, the old Gator, to an 0 for 10 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. But she's had a wonderful year, tied for the SEC lead with 52 walks. Shaw swings at his off-speed pitch from Rothrock, who throws her out to begin the game.
Keegan Rothrock's hit to vary her speed. She can ramp it up to 72, 73 miles an hour and then bring it down with her changeup to 59. What she is known for is her rise ball. She can throw it on multiple levels. She has an improved changeup, that improved off-speed pitch that she's worked in this season, and throwing it a little bit more than she did last season.
Rothrock a little low to Alyssa Hastings. Marty Abzishin is the plate umpire in game 1, with Cam Ellison at first and Steve Gould out at third. Hastings had 4 walks against Florida in the regular season, though was only 1 out of 7. And she takes one a little too tall for ball 2. Auburn 27 and 27, just 4 and 20 in the SEC. Came into this tournament 2 and 17 in their last 19. And they've won 2 in a row. Their first back-to-back wins in SEC play since a March 7th doubleheader 2 months ago today against Kentucky. A run that has truly come from nowhere. 3-0 for Hastings here. And she takes a 4-pitch walk. On Saturday, Auburn lost the first game of a doubleheader, 25-0 to LSU. They lost the next day. They were 2-19 in SEC play after going 2-1 in the first series. And now here at the SEC tournament, they're 2-0, including an upset of Texas A&M. Michaela Walker, one of those home runs, went deep in the first yesterday and takes inside.
We've seen Auburn handle a curveball against Missouri for a couple of home runs. In yesterday's game, they handled up in the zone against Texas A&M. They tried to pitch them hard in. Their barrels got to it still. That's what Keegan Rothrock is going to try to do too with her rise ball. You can tell Jocelyn Erickson's going to run out and chat to her because of her lack of command here in the last few pitches. Stephanie Van Brakel Prothro and Tim Walton are also going to come out to the field. Remember, Stephanie Van Brakel played at Alabama. She's pitched in the SEC tournament, pitched in the Women's College World Series.
Stephanie in her second year on the Florida staff. Rothrock, 10 pitches, only 3 strikes to begin the game.
You can tell she's trying to find the strike zone early with her rise ball, just trying to pinpoint it. With that rise ball, she wants the top of the zone to get called, and she's thrown a couple of lower rise balls, but not gotten the calls, trying to figure it out. And scary to be a rise ball pitcher with the wind blowing straight out to center field.
12 miles per hour on a 57-degree day. A rise ball pitcher against a team that keeps rising the ball, Auburn. Walker hit her 12th home run yesterday, second on the team. 38 RBIs lead the Tigers. Rothrock back in the strike zone, and this 2-1 pitch fouled away hard. It's 2-2. Auburn is 8 for 15 at the tournament with runners on base with 3 of their 7 home runs. With a runner at first here, Walker strikes out looking.
Keegan Rothrock can freeze you because the spin of her rise ball is so good. In fact, she is 5th in spin rate with her rise ball in SEC versus SEC games. Her rise ball has over 2,100 RPMs on it on average, so she can really ramp it up with her spin.
And a half swing there for Natalie Adams. Rothrock up to 71. Adams, a first-team All-SEC a year ago, homered and walked yesterday in the 11-8 win over Texas A&M. What makes Keegan Rothrock's rise ball work so well, not just at the top of the zone, but on different planes?
Yeah, it's the fact that she has that really good spin that also slows it down a little bit. So her rise ball is going to be a few miles an hour slower than her fastball that she'll work in there too. So she throws at 3 different speeds. But being able to find her rise ball on multiple different levels throughout her career since her freshman year, she came in with that rise ball, has been something that she has worked on, to not just throw it high in the zone, but to be able to throw it through the zone too.
2-1 pitch. Adams takes it for a strike. Two starts against Auburn in the regular season. Rothrock pitched well, allowed just 2 earned runs in 11 1/3. Walked 6, struck out 11. This pitch popped up and out of play. Good job by Adams to foul it off despite the random Linus and Lucy drop that played over the PA. Feels like it's Christmas time here in May. Another 2-2 for the Auburn cleanup hitter. That's popped up. Gabby Comia, the second baseman, ends the scoreless first for Rothrock. Shoemaker, Erickson, and Brown, the big Florida bats when we return.
Softball tournament on the SEC Network is presented by T-Mobile, America's best network.
The Florida Gators, the 3 seed in the SEC this year. They are 6-time SEC tournament champions, won it 2 years ago. And they've got a couple of golden tickets. Jocelyn Erickson and Kenleigh Cahalan, both AUSL draft picks, hitting in the 2 and 5 spots for Hall of Fame coach Tim Walton. Well, Ella Harrison started the first 2 games for Auburn at the SEC tournament. 170 pitches, Amanda. She'll take the ball on day 3.
Yeah, everything's staying the same for Auburn. Their starting lineup, their starting pitcher, going with what's been working. Despite her giving up some runs, they've been scoring to have her back.
Well, the first inning has been the worst inning for her at this tournament. She gave up 2 to Missouri, then threw 3 scoreless after that. She gave up 3 to Texas A&M in the first inning yesterday. And we're all unearned. Only 2 runs, 1 earned the rest of the way. See if she can get off to a better start as she throws a strike to Taylor Shoemaker. 170 pitches in 2 days. What do you look for a pitcher who's worked that much on a 3rd straight day?
Just her command to see if she's throwing strikes. She started out this tournament, first 2 batters she faced were a couple of walks, got herself into trouble against Missouri early, but since then, a wonderful graphic that I didn't even know was coming up. It supports what I was saying, but since that first inning, she's really found her command.
Shoemaker line drive, left center field, leadoff hit for last season's National Freshman of the Year.
And she's going to try to find the command, Ella Harrison, with her rise ball and her drop ball. What's really cool about Ella Harrison is that her rise ball is a lower speed. It comes in at about 61 miles an hour. She will vary it and try to get you to chase. And her drop ball, she can throw at 68 miles an hour and get some really good swings and misses on that drop ball. In fact, she was 2nd in swings and misses on her drop ball in SEC play.
Harrison to Jocelyn Erickson, down and away. Jocelyn was the 5th pick in the AUSL draft this year, went to the Chicago Bandits, who have a former Gator great in Skylar Wallace. And Erickson is sitting at 19 home runs. She's been at 19 home runs for a while now, a 12-game homerless drought, her longest of the year. Her next home run would make her the 5th Gator with 50 career homers. And remember, she played her freshman year at Oklahoma. Nasty pitch there from Harrison.
I forgot to mention she has a changeup too. So 3 different speeds for Ella Harrison. Her fastest is going to be her drop ball, that medium speed, her rise ball, because she's so focused on spinning it, and then change up. She just threw to Erickson at 55.
Now, Erickson has been wonderful this season. Overall, 403, but with runners on base, even better. 443 on the year. Second in the SEC in RBIs, top 9 in home runs, on base, slugging, hits, and doubles. And that ball just skipped out of the hand of Harrison right into the dirt. Went right to Ratliff, so Shoemaker holds at first, but it'll be a 3-2 for Erickson after a leadoff hit.
Definitely just slipped out of her hand. Great job by Ratliff, who has struggled with pass balls.
One in the first inning of each game. 3-2. Erickson gets under a fly ball to right. And Walker cleans it up for the first out. Well, the Gators saw Ella Harrison twice during the regular season, and Tim Walton's team was shut out in one of the games. Game 2 of that series, 8-hit shutout for Harrison. Tim Walton's team hadn't been shut out at home in 2 years. No stranger to success in this league or in this tournament. Won it 2 years ago. And he made a big lineup change today, moving Ava Brown up to the 3 spot. Brown, who's been limited by an early leg injury, is hitting third for the first time in her career.
It was good to see her back into the lineup. Everybody was wondering after her injury happened at the Judy Garman tournament in California on February 26th, like, is she going to be able to come back? Will we see her at the plate? Will we see her in the circle? Ended up coming back in early April offensively, and then we saw her last weekend in the circle against Georgia for the first time.
In the last 10 games, Brown has been Florida's best hitter. OPS of 1136, 10 for 25 with a double, 3 homers, and 5 walks. Brown takes wide here for ball 2.
Coach Walton just talking about how great of a teammate that Ava Brown has been since that injury, and just staying in it in the dugout, taking care of her rehab, working hard to be the best teammate that she could be, and to get back into the lineup. You know, you have that idea whenever you get hurt that you don't know if that's going to be the end of your season or how the rest of the season is going to go. But Ava Brown decided to put in the work, be a great teammate, go over and beyond, work herself back in to now be an important part of this Florida lineup here in the postseason.
6 pitch from Harrison to her. Brown lashes it to right field for a sizzling single. Shoemaker stops after a turn at second. The lineup change looks good early as Brown singles up Shoemaker, and the Gators have 2 hits.
And both Shoemaker and Brown have been able to just send pitches the other way. It looks like drop balls that they're able to get the bottom half of or the middle half of the ball and hit it hard. I mean, the ball coming off the bat of Shoemaker and Brown there, high exit velocity.
It was 78 miles per hour off the bat. And it brings up the freshman Townsend Thomas to take a strike. An atypical cleanup hitter, the redshirt freshman Thomas, who can slap, but does have 5 home runs, so a varied skill set. And Tim Walton said, I told her I don't want her to think like a normal cleanup hitter, not for power reasons. I'm just looking at opportunities for you to be kind of another leadoff. She has a game this year with a bunt single and a grand slam. Whatever the moment calls for, he's happy to have Thomas do what she wants to do. A ground ball to second here will result in a force out of Brown. Shoemaker to third, and it's first and third, 2 down. So with 2 down and 2 on, Kenley Cahalan will look to open the scoring.
Ball.
Remember, Harrison has given up multiple runs in the first inning, each of the first 2 days at this tournament. Facing Cahalan now, who was an Alabama Crimson Tide player to start her career and ends it as a Gator, her second season. Cahalan, the final pick of the AUSL draft, went to the Portland Cascade. And she's had a really big offensive season, a massive improvement from last year. Her home runs up by 5, her on base and slugging have jumped 2.
You mentioned Cahalan going to the Cascade. She's actually going to be teammates with Kendra Falby as well as Corby Otis. And a lot of AUSL connections with this Florida team, because not only is Kendra Falby on staff, but so is Erin Koffel, who was last year in the inaugural season of the AUSL the MVP, who's just inside the Florida dugout and has been with them for the past couple of years, and she got done with her career here at Kentucky.
There's Kendra, who's the Gators' first base coach. And Erin Koffel will be teammates with Jocelyn Erickson, as we mentioned, going to the Bandits. So 1-1 pitch here, a visit from Riker Chasen to the circle. Maybe didn't like something about the last pitch that Cahalan fouled off. Two on, two out. Florida trying to strike first. And Cahalan fouls it away. Thomas was on the run from first base there. She'll retreat on a 1-2.
And it could be too, just I mentioned in that timeout with the first and third situation with an experienced runner at third and some speed over at first base, just talking to the freshman catcher back behind the plate, a young battery with Harrison as a sophomore, what they want to do.
Cahalan to left field, digs one out, but right into the glove of the former Gator Shaw. The first scoreless first inning for Harrison and Auburn at the tournament.
Welcome back to Lexington, Kentucky, as we head to the second inning between Auburn and Florida. And these Auburn Tigers have already played 2 games here at the SEC tournament. Funny enough, Chris and Kate Malvo are huge WWE fans. So I asked them this morning, if you had to make a comparison to SEC softball and the WWE, what would it be? And they said, oh, the Royal Rumble, 100%. You're facing someone new every single week. 30 entrants in the Rumble. You don't know who's coming out next. If you happen to be breathing at the end, you're probably staring down some kind of former champion or legend on the other side, and now you got to make it through all those people. So congratulations, you win too. Now you got to face Florida. They said even has Hell in a Cell vibes too, which I have become an expert on in the last 10 minutes, guys. No disqualifying in Hell in a Cell. You can only lose by pin or submission. Welcome to the SEC.
Oh my gosh, Hell in a Cell. I'm a little frightened to be. You just threw a lot of energy at us for 11:24. I'm familiar with the old school wrestling concept of the loser leaves town match, where wrestler gets defeated and you have to apparently leave the territory. Auburn was in a loser leaves town game, the first game of the tournament, if we extend the metaphor, against Missouri. They ended Missouri's season. Mizzou came in at 500, so with 1 win, they would have been NCAA tournament eligible. and they lost, so they were out. And Auburn needed 3 wins. We came in going, all right, a 14 seed in this tournament needing 3 wins. How likely is that? Here they are, 1 win away from a winning record.
Well, they have to have confidence in the fact that they've beaten Florida before. You know, if they would have gotten swept, maybe this game feels a little bit different. I mean, I still think that this Auburn team has a lot of momentum, but, you know, they're putting in their back pocket, hey, we've been here before. We've beaten them before. In fact, they did it in Gainesville, which is one of the toughest places to play in the SEC.
Mania Womack, their home run leader, against Keegan Rothrock. Womack blasts a fly ball to left field. Here they go again. An absolute moonball from Mania. And the Tigers hit their 8th home run of this SEC tournament. They strike first here in the quarterfinal on a 240-foot demolition.
This is exactly how they started the second inning against Texas A&M. Womack with the solo home run. Trying to go up and in. That home run that she hit against A&M was also with 2 strikes over the left field wall. So much power. These Auburn bats, they just are absolutely alive.
Ball. And yesterday she hit one to her face on the scoreboard. This one was taller than the scoreboard. 4 home runs for Womack at her last 9 at-bats. Destiny Rodriguez, the next batter, in the air to straightaway center for an out. Here's the home run ball cam again.
Aww.
Souvenir for a young fan, courtesy of Mania Womack, who had a 2 home run game in the regular season finale against LSU, the first 2 homer game of her career, and now has a 2 home run SEC tournament. Back-to-back days, as you said, leading off the second inning. Yesterday against A&M, today against Keegan Rothrock and Florida. Now here's the breakout star of the first 2 games for the Tigers, Haven Roebuck, who has reached base now in 4 of her last 5 plate appearances, 2 homers and 2 walks, including the tie-breaking eventual game-winning home run in the 6th inning against Missouri. Rothrock to Roebuck with a called strike 2. And not homered for 25 games until that go-ahead shot in the 6th inning in the first round, and then the on-deck hitter, her roommate Ava Ratliff, had the game winner in the 7th yesterday. Roebuck chases and misses here. Rothrock's got her 2nd K.
It's a good rebound by Keegan Rothrock in this inning, getting a fly ball out and then a strikeout with the rise ball that moves a little bit away from Roebuck and getting her to chase up and out of the zone.
2 down, Ava Ratliff. Ratliff stepped into the tune of Enter Sandman, appropriate because she was the closer for Auburn last night. Tie game, 7th inning, 2 on, 2 out. Fouled off 3 2-strike pitches against Kate Munnerlyn, and ended a 9-pitch at-bat with a straightaway home run to center. It was only her 3rd home run of the year. And one of the other 2 did come against Florida in the regular season. A fly ball to Shoemaker here. Rothrock retires Ratliff, but Auburn strikes first again. Another early home run from Mania Womack.
Womack leads Auburn in home runs. This is her 15th of the season. You pitch them out, they're going to hit it out. You pitch them up, they're going to hit it out. This Auburn team are feeling themselves in the box.
Welcome back to the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Game 1 of 4 today. Coming up next, Alabama and Arkansas. 1 and 2 in the country in RPI in the SEC. It's just a measly quarterfinal. Texas, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Georgia, so the last 5 national championships represented at the bottom of the bracket. Texas last year, OU the #1 seed with the previous 4. Home run hitter Manaea Womack has Auburn ahead in the first quarterfinal. The 14 seed trying to become NCAA tournament eligible. Kendall Grover trying to answer that with a line drive out to the studio set. Grover hits it over in the blink of an eye, and Florida answers back on the first pitch of the second.
It's been such a big addition to this Florida team to add the power of Grover. Goes up and is able to get a rise ball. She looks like she is looking for it, keeps her hands above that pitch, and is on time for 61, which it's so tough to do to square up Ella Harrison because of the different speeds that she throws. Tim Walton loves it, her teammates love it, and Grover quickly wastes no time to tie up this game.
Grover had dominated Harrison in the regular season. Now 5 for 6 with a couple of home runs against her. And Kendall Grover has tied this game at 1 on a ground out following that by Cassidy McClellan.
And just before the first pitch was thrown in this inning with Ella Harrison, Tim Walton had gathered his hitters around right outside of the dugout, all the ones who were about to come up. And I have a feeling that he told them to be more aggressive, maybe even be more aggressive on a rise ball. First pitch swing from Grover with the home run, and same thing with McClellan. Both of those coming on a rise ball up in the zone.
Madison Walker now down to the 8th spot. A Gator first baseman. Walker swings and misses, got a drop ball, and it's 0-2. Transfer from Mizzou, Madison Walker. Flyers got a bunch of players that have transferred from within the league. And a strikeout. Back to her bread and butter. We've seen that drop ball really working this week.
What's the benefit of having both of those pitches? Okay, you're sitting on my rise ball. I'm just going to give you a big dose of these drop balls going right at Walker with 3 drop balls in a row to get the K. That drop ball that Ella Harrison has is first in the SEC in max spin rate on the drop.
And zips up and into the 9-hitter Gabby Comia. So look from the berm on just a gorgeous day, 57 and sunny at first pitch. The berm is jam-packed again. Great crowds here in Lexington. First time that this ballpark, John Kropp Stadium, has hosted the SEC tournament. Its 14th year of existence, been renovated quite a bit the last couple of years. Off-speed strike 2 to Comia, and Harrison has the advantage. Kendall Grover with a tying home run here in the second for the Gators. Dropped in the lineup down to 6 today. Normally of late, Grover's been the #3 hitter. Ava Brown goes to the 3 spot, has a sharp single. Grover all the way down to the 6 spot. And answers that lineup demotion with her 11th home run of the year. She's one of 5 Gators with double-digit homers. And they are one of the best home run hitting teams in the country now with 98. Strikeout to Comia, back-to-back Ks, but leadoff home runs for each team in the second.
We wondered if Kendall Grover's power would transfer from Eastern Illinois, where she was the back-to-back Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year, playing in her first SEC tournament, a home run to tie up this game on the first pitch she saw.
the same team that lost 25-0 to LSU Saturday? Auburn had 6 home runs at the SEC tournament the last 8 years. They have 8 home runs in 16 innings at the tournament in 2026. Another one today from Manaea Womack. Had a home run in 5 straight innings between Tuesday and Wednesday, which was the second longest streak by any SEC school this season. Oklahoma did it in 7 straight innings in March. And again, this is an Auburn team, Amanda, that had a great February. I mean, had in February 37 home runs, the second most in the month of February in Auburn history, and then just went ice cold in March and ice cold in April. How do you figure out what has gotten into these bats this week?
It really is just a belief that they had in February, because I was just looking at the same thing. February, 37 home runs. March, 13. April, all the way down to 6. So progressively just has lost that belief. But you're back to the Auburn team that we saw in February that came out swinging really big, drawing walks, a lot of extra base hits, 82 extra base hits in February alone.
And look, February, obviously the competition is lighter, but Auburn did play some good teams early in that month. Got off to a great start. Here's a ground ball to a drawn-in third baseman Grover. She throws out the 9-hitter Daigle Wilson.
Well, in the entire month of April, they hit 178 as a team, which is unbelievable compared to that 358 average that they had in February. I mean, essentially cut in half. Seeing the team, I think that just got to start this season with fresh mindsets and perspectives, and they're treating this SEC tournament as a completely new season.
Ball 1, Rothrock to Shaw. Pretty amazing. Saturday, Auburn loses a doubleheader by a combined 32-2 to LSU. The first game, literally the worst loss in the history of SEC softball in a conference game, 25-0. And here they are, not even a week later. LSU is out. They went one and done. They lost to Georgia yesterday, despite coming on into the tournament on the heels of that 25-0 blistering and series sweep. And Auburn has won 2 games. A little flip base hit for Kylie Shaw. Lands on the outfield grass. The leadoff hitter Shaw has reached base now for a 5th time and 10 trips to the plate in this tournament. So here's the note. You have to be 500 or better to be selected to the NCAA tournament. You can win your conference tournament at under 500, make it automatically, but to be an at-large bid, you must be 500. So if they lose today, they're 27-28 and out. Is it fair to say if they win this game today, even though they would be 500 with a win today and let's say a loss tomorrow, is it fair to say if they win, they are a lock for an at-large bid?
Yes, I think so. I'm not a bracketology specialist up here, but looking at their RPI and thinking about that they would have a win against Florida, a win against A&M, and just a resume that has a few other SEC-type quality wins, I would say, yes, they are going to be in. 32 RPI is still solid.
And people might say maybe that's tougher to the mid-major teams, the low-major teams with better records. But based on the criteria that the selection committee uses, they have the number 6 strength of schedule in the country. The RPI might sneak into the top 30 with a win here. Looking at those numbers and looking at some of the quality wins they've had, it would be hard even at 500 to keep them out. They made the tournament 11 straight years. They're one of 13 teams in the country with that long of an active stretch.
Ball out.
Alyssa Hastings, meanwhile, has been allergic to strikes. She's seen 8 pitches, all of them balls. And those are the only 2 walks for Keegan Rothrock today. And now Michaela Walker, as Auburn has 2 runners on for the first time in the same inning. Walker, a transfer from LSU, takes ball 1. Rothrock has been behind all 4 hitters in the inning with a first pitch ball. She's only thrown 4 out of 12 first pitch strikes today.
And I think it has something to do with Walking Hastings facing a couple of left-handed hitters in a row. When you look at Rothrock's numbers, her walk percentage is higher against lefties than it is against righties. So just trying to find the strike zone against a couple of lefties that have a really good eye at the plate, especially in Shaw, putting pressure on her. Hastings has had a terrific year. I mean, Shaw and Hastings have really been sparks at the top of the order for Auburn's power, just consistently finding a way to get on base.
Hastings is now 1 for 7 against Florida this season, but she has 6 walks. Rothrock has been such a workhorse this season, pitching nearly half of Florida's innings, the 3rd highest percentage of any pitcher on a major conference team. And once again, she's been the biggest workhorse in the SEC. Here's her 1-0 to Walker after the visit from Stephanie Van Brakel pro throw, and it's fouled away.
Guys, I chatted with Tim Walton before this game got started. He said, my message lately has been eliminate the distractions, and he's taking that to heart. I said, how do you approach a team that's as hot as this one? He said, we really haven't paid attention to what Auburn's been doing all week long. It's about us.
Up and in. That hit Walker. It did graze her. But he's paying attention to what Auburn's doing right now. They've loaded the bases on a single, a walk, and a hit batter.
Number 14, Annalie Adams.
Annalie Adams, the cleanup hitter, will step in. Bases full of Tigers, 1 away. Adams takes a strike. First pitch strike of the inning to 5 batters. And a home run yesterday off a rise ball of Sydney Peters. Adams has seen her power numbers dip this year. Her slugging percentage down 168 points, but she did have that home run yesterday. She does have 7 on the year. 1-1 coming.
Ball inside.
And middles are back for the infield of Florida, trying to turn a double play here and get out of the inning. See Cahalan and Comia playing back, looking for it.
Strike 2 and 2. Right in over at the knees from Rothrock. Olivia Miller, Leah Stevens getting some early work in for Florida with Rothrock in a bases loaded situation. Here's her 2-2.
Like a good pitch to hit right there by Adams. Rothrock in this at bat has been so good on the corners, just trying to live on the edge, but that 2-2 pitch was one that was more right down the heart of the plate. More of a mistake.
Will Adams get another mistake? Line to left center field. That's a gapper. Shaw and Hastings are in. Walker's waved in by Kate Malveaux. She scores, and the ball kicks away. So Adams takes third. A bases unloading double. Adams down to third at the end of the play, and it's 4-1 for the 14 seed.
Not a home run, but this will work to clear the bases. Stays above this rise ball. Auburn is doing such a good job with rise balls in this tournament. They know what they're looking for. They're taking pitches that are off the plate and not the pitch that they're going up wanting to attack. Annalie Adams clears the bases and gives Auburn the lead.
It's a 3-run double. She advances to third on Taylor Shoemaker's second error of the year. And it is 4-1 Auburn with a runner at third now because of the error and only 1 out. And Mania Womack, who's homered today, squares around thinking about a bunt and takes low.
This is where those free passes are just so critical. Great job by Shaw with 1 out to find a way on, and then a walk and a hit by pitch. And Adams comes up and does her thing.
Low to Womack for ball 2. Annalie Adams, 38 RBIs. With that swing, she ties her teammate Michaela Walker for the team lead.
You can tell because she hit that rise ball for a home run in the second inning. They've been trying to work her lower in the zone in this at bat, seeing if she will chase. But Keegan's going to have to come with a strike here, likely going to go to that rise ball to find it.
Instead, ball 4 really wanted no part of her. The second time through the order. The first 5 Auburn hitters have reached.
You know, we haven't seen a lot of Keegan Rothrock changeups in this game, and it's a pitch for her that early on this year was working really well for her. And I was digging into the numbers February until really the last week of March. Keegan Rothrock was getting a 50% swing and miss rate on her changeup. Opponents were just hitting 122 off of it, and with 2 strikes, it was even better. They were hitting 097 off of it. But since April and May, that swing and miss rate has been cut in half, and opponents hitting 270 off of her changeup. That changeup was what made her excel early on in this year. It made her rise ball look even better, even faster up at the eyes. That changeup was diving down, but that changeup has just kind of gone away in April and May.
Got a pinch runner here for Auburn. Georgia Lessman comes in at third after the walk. First to third, one away for Destiny Rodriguez. 3 already across in the inning for Auburn. And Rodriguez puts one in the air to right. Lessman, the pinch runner, tags from third, and she'll go about a third of the way down the line and then retreat. A strong throw in by Cassidy McClellan. Womack moved to second on the play, but it's a big second out for the Gators without Lessman scoring. Second and third, 2 down for Haven Roebuck. Rothrock struck out Roebuck her first time. This will be her 27th pitch of the third inning. Lessman and Womack are the runners in scoring position. Here are the 2 home runs for Roebuck. First against Missouri, and then yesterday right in the heart of the plate against A&M and right down the line. Great pull side power for this freshman from Winterville, North Carolina.
I feel like they've just been so good at capitalizing on mistakes and really good with 2 outs in this tournament, driving in a lot of 2-out RBIs.
12 2-out RBIs, 21 runs in the tournament. Right in there to Roebuck, 2-2. We saw Adams miss a pitch down the middle, foul one off, get another one to hit. Roebuck took a pitch right in the heart and now takes one outside. So 3-2 for the Auburn third baseman. The 8th batter of a 3-run Tiger inning. Pitch count climbing for Rothrock. Her 3-2 is low. Roebuck waits her out. Haven Roebuck's 3rd walk in the last 2 days. Bases loaded for Ava Ratliff. Ratliff flight out to center field in the second. Strikes. Swings through a strike there. A hard pitch from Rothrock, who has walked 3, hit 1, and allowed 2 hits in the inning. You mentioned that changeup, but Rothrock's not an easy at bat. How much easier is it if you essentially eliminate the changeup as a hitter?
Yeah, because then you can just look up. Everything that she's throwing that is down is not being, it's too far down. It's not a called strike.
Ratliff looks up, drills it to left field, and it's caught! Thomas on the run saves the inning from really blowing up. Townsend Thomas may have just saved 3.
Another big swing with the bases loaded, but this time Florida defense is one of the best in the nation, able to step up and make a play. Townsend with a run-saving on-the-run grab.
SEC tournament champions the last 5 years, Alabama and Arkansas, who play next. Won it in 21 and 22. Tennessee in 23. The Gators took home the title last year, or 2 years ago. Last year, rain out on Saturday, so you get a trophy, you get a trophy. Oklahoma and Texas A&M were co-champs. That means 6 champions in the last 5 years. A bunch of them are here, not all of them. Texas A&M and Tennessee both knocked out yesterday. But Alabama and Arkansas, the next game in our quarterfinal round, which is just a loaded, loaded day of SEC softball. All teams going to the NCAA tournament for sure, except for Auburn, who has to win today to secure eligibility, and they probably have the numbers to be a comfortable at-large pick if they win to get to 500. Well, they're at 500. They win, they'd get to a game over, guaranteeing they couldn't finish any worse than 500. Ella Harrison pitching with a 3-run lead. She faces this Florida order for a second time through, starting with Taylor Shoemaker. How do you expect Florida to approach their at-bats differently the second time through?
I'm interested to see if they still continue to look for that rise ball that gave them success, but then Riker Chasen switched the pitch calling and went more to the drop ball. So seeing if some of those hitters going up looking for a rise ball still, or some are keying in on down the zone with the drop. Great stop by Ratliff. That changeup. That drop ball though by Harrison, I mean, I've been really impressed with it past couple of games. That has gotten the biggest swings and misses that we've seen. Even her ability to throw it what looks like a mistake right down the heart of the plate and up, hitters are still swinging and missing at it.
Ground ball through the right side for Shoemaker. Adams was a little bit drawn in from first, and Shoemaker knocked it past her for a 2-hit game.
So that again is a hit on a rise ball, and it just seems like Florida is seeing that pitch better. Shoemaker is a little bit out in front, but finds a way to get on top of it and hit it hard toward the pull side to lead off this inning.
Taylor Shoemaker having another fabulous season, hitting .441 with a .534 on base percentage. That's a multi-hit game for her. And a bunt laid down by Jocelyn Erickson. It's a foul ball.
And that would have been terrifying for Auburn's defense because they weren't expecting that at all from Erickson. Roebuck was playing way back. Hastings playing up the middle of the field. That bunt would have been a hit all the way, and they would have had 2 on.
Erickson now swinging away, launches a ball into the Auburn bullpen. Been a little bit of a struggle at the plate for Jocelyn Erickson of late. Last 10 games, only 2 doubles, no homers, 8 for 36, slugging just .278. And she is drilled. An 0-2 pitch to the knee. And just like that, the Gators will put the tying run at the plate with nobody out.
Trying to go with the drop ball in here, and Harrison just holds on to it, trying to sneak it inside. And Erickson makes it tough because she's so far on the plate. She makes that inside corner feel so small.
7th time she's been hit by a pitch, 2nd most of any Gator. Here's Ava Brown. Out of the hand, the ball from Harrison with a high changeup. Ava hit a sharp single, 78 miles per hour the other way in the 1st inning. Good drop ball here. Auburn did have another pitcher throw, and they had triple barrel action for a minute. Charlie Butler is the one to know. She's relieved Harrison each of the first 2 games of this series.
Season's on the line. It is all hands on deck in this game. Everybody, if you've thrown a pitch before, go down and get warmed up. We may need you. We want to keep playing. And this Harrison drop ball, she needs to continue to work it because Florida's like so much better on her rise. Continue to go down with the drop.
Brown, ground ball, fielded at shortstop, and Brown beats the wide throw at first. Hastings got the runner Erickson on a 6-4 fielder's choice. So it's 1st and 3rd, and now 1 away. Well, Townsend Thomas made a tremendous running catch to end the top of the 3rd. Strand the bases loaded. Auburn scored 3, but it could have been 6 on that Ratliff swing. And Thomas has started playing left field in the last month. This is her 17th straight start in left field. She had been the starting center fielder before that. Tim Walton said, for whatever reason, when I moved her to left, it's like I took off the weighted vest. And Townsend rips this ball into the gap in right center field. Brown will motor over to 3rd, Thomas to 2nd. So she saves 3 runs in the top of the inning, drives in 1 in the bottom, and it's 4-2.
The turn of events and a swing by Townsend Thomas, who just keeps her feet still and gets under this drop ball. This is a pitch that Florida, I think, is going to start looking for. Harrison is going to start giving them more because they are on her rise ball. Her changeup has been ineffective at this point. Florida is going to start looking down for that drop.
2nd and 3rd now, and 1 away. Ball 1 wide to Kenleigh Cahalan. A double by Thomas, her 11th of the year. And the freshman has knocked in 44 in 57 games. Cahalan goes after one that is just too all right. That'll wake you up. Almost drilled the disco ball, which apparently has been over our heads for 3 days, and we just noticed in the 1st inning. You notice, by the way, Amanda, this giant pane of glass behind Amanda, who
I'm
notorious for getting out of the way of foul balls. Self-preservation is important.
I'm safe no matter what. I'm ducking. But Kenleigh Cahalan has had such a breakout year this year, Kevin, because of some swing changes that she's made in her stance. Last year is going to be on the left. This year is going to be on the right. She's not standing nearly as open. And then when she strides, she's definitely more going toward the pitcher, so giving her access to some different pitches. Because she's not stepping as much out and bailing out to first base, she's able to hit the outside pitch a lot better with her screwball, as well as sticking with some changeups better. It's improved her slugging percentage, and she's hitting more home runs, hitting for a higher average. Specifically, though, the average against her screwball, or a screwball that is thrown at her, so that's an outside pitch, has gone up over 200 points.
Ball. Yeah, the Gators feel like she's much more balanced, much better sequence this year, biomechanically in the swing. somebody who was a superstar recruit coming out of high school out of Trussville, Alabama, and has played like it this year. Cahalan pops this ball up, foul territory. The second baseman Wilson leaning in and couldn't make the catch.
Tim Walton actually compared her to Gator great Michelle Moultrie, as there was a great effort down the line to try to get this out with 2 runners in scoring position. But he had said when he looked at Michelle Moultrie and her style and her twitchiness, Kenleigh Cahalan was kind of like that.
On a 2-strike pitch, Cahalan with a confident take, runs it full against Ella Harrison. Florida has 5 hits in the game, 3 of them with 2 strikes. Can Cahalan add another? Started to swing, ball gets away, and here comes Brown, and now the throw kicks off of Harrison, and Townsend Thomas scores. A walk that scores 2 runs. A nutty sequence, and Florida has tied it on a ball that got away from Ratliff.
Ratliff has struggled at times with handling Harrison's drop ball because it has such good spin and movement to it. So this walk ends up going off of her glove, and Ava Brown got a great read to score, and a good sign for Florida. She was comfortable to do that, and the speed of Townsend to follow it up. Another good read when she got to third base, and then Kenleigh Cahalan got all the way to second too.
So it's a walk, a pass ball, and an E2. Ratliff's 19th pass ball of the year. She's committed a pass ball with Harrison pitching all 3 games of this SEC tournament. And then here's the error. So let's see, who does this ball hit? What a great angle this is. It actually, I think it hit Harrison. I think Brown ran right in front of it.
It's tricky to catch that toss from your catcher with that runner right there.
If you're playing hockey or if you're playing soccer, that might be goalie interference, but all's fair in love and softball. A 4-4 game as Florida scores 3 runs here in the bottom of the third to answer Auburn's 3-run top of the inning, and now home run hitter Kendall Grover in a 2-1 count. A single, a hit by pitch, a fielder's choice, an RBI double, a walk, pass ball, and error on the same play. And Cahalan's at second because of that error.
Freeze! Everybody clap your hands.
Been a tough defensive year for Auburn. The worst fielding percentage in the SEC, .949. And they have not been great despite the 2 wins here at the tournament. Grover rips it inside the bag and fair. Cahalan will be wheeled around third, and she's coming in to score. Roebuck never looked at the plate on the throw in from Shaw. An aggressive send by Tim Walton, and the Gators have their first lead.
Kendall Grover just sees the ball so well off of Ella Harrison, especially on the inside, and being able to handle pitches that were up in the zone. That was actually a drop ball that was left elevated that she gets on top of and hits hard down the third base line to give Florida the lead.
She's now 6 for 7 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs against Ella Harrison this year. Public enemy number 1 for the sophomore from Clarence, New York, as Florida answers the 3-run top of the third with a 4-run and counting bottom. And that will spell the end, at least for now, for Ella Harrison. Did re-enter yesterday's game after being removed, but she'll be removed in the third here and replaced by Abby Herndon, making her first appearance of this SEC tournament. We'll be back with Herndon and a 4-run and counting Florida third here in the quarterfinals. Once again in 2026, a historic, record-setting, record-breaking World Series last year begins May 28th. In just 3 weeks, ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. The Gators, national champions under Tim Walton, hope to get back there. They were 2-out in the World Series last year. 3 seed of the SEC tournament here. They lead 5-4 as Abby Herndon takes over in the circle.
Herndon going to come from the left-hand side. Overall in the year, Florida has hit about 80 points lower off of lefties than righties. So likely why we're seeing her pitch in the SEC tournament for the first time. Changes their speeds very well when she's working. Kind of an inflated ERA for Abby Herndon.
Well, the good news is a 4.24 ERA in relief, so much better in relief compared to her 7 starts. Oh, here goes the runner to second base. Grover with a steal, but McClellan swinging in slow motion missed that changeup.
She changes speeds very well, so her go-to pitch is going to be her drop ball, followed by her changeup.
Herndon, a redshirt freshman who did not pitch last year at Ole Miss, transferred within the league. And another one. Nifty 50 to strike out McClellan.
This is just a great pitch, a backhand flip changeup. You see her fingertips lead through her release to get that backhand flip. Throwing it again there. Remember, Riker Chasen is the pitching coach for Auburn. He was, before he came to Auburn, at Ole Miss, so knew about Abby Herndon and got her to come to Auburn once she got in the portal.
Addison Walker struck out her first time. Down and into Walker for ball 2. Good separation, about 15 miles per hour between drop and change up for Herndon. A lot of hits, though. 77 in 50 and a third innings. Walks can be an issue.
This changeup is just working. You get to come in. They haven't seen a changeup like this out of the hand of Harrison, who, remember, her changeup wasn't working great today. So you bring in Herndon, gives him a completely different look from the left-hand side, especially.
Fly ball center field for Walker, and Womack with her heels on the track puts it away. 7 total runs in that third inning. Auburn got 3 and nearly more. Townsend Thomas and the Gators answer with a 4 spot and have their first lead.
To the 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network, presented by T-Mobile. Here with Florida head coach Tim Walton. Coach, big last inning for your group. What did you say to your hitters when you went over and talked to them in the middle of that frame?
I thought all of our at-bats from inning 1 and 2 were really good. Obviously, Kendall hit a home run, but the bats have been good. Just not let the score dictate how the swings can change. Just stay with what we planned on. Just stay with what we can do, and I thought we did a really good job. Taylor Shoemaker getting the leadoff hitter on base right away.
Put Olivia Miller in the circle here. What do you say to her to continue the work in this game that Keegan started?
Yeah, I think for Olivia, it's best, she pounds the zone a little bit different than Keegan, gets a lot more ground balls when she's effective, but they're swinging pretty good. They're doing a good job. They've obviously got 2 games under their belt, so just change the look. We'll bring Keegan back probably in to close the game back out.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, go Gators.
Alyssa, thank you. Olivia Miller is the new pitcher for Florida, and the Gators have the lead for her. Our extra effort today brought to you by Regions Bank.
Auburn had already scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning, and then Townsend came up and made this incredible catch out in left field to save more runs with 2 outs. That was the final out of the inning. Then she picked up the bat, had a hard hit and an RBI, just being able to do it on both sides of the ball for Townsend.
So 5-4 Florida lead. Diggle Wilson started the 3rd inning with a ground out. Auburn scored 3 in that inning, and Wilson starts the 4th against Miller. Left-hander out of Orlando, a 1.54 ERA. Now her 28th appearance, and Amanda, 25 of those in relief. So a very familiar position for her coming out of the bullpen and trying to protect this lead.
Coming from the left side, she will bring a curveball and a drop ball when she's the best version of herself. Her curveball is dropping a little bit, and she's being able to work basically at the knees and below to get a lot of ground balls like Coach Walton was talking about to feed this Florida infield.
Tough day for Keegan Rothrock, who's thrown nearly half of Florida's innings this year. She could still re-enter, but this is her line as it stands. 4 walks and 4 runs in 3 innings. Tim Walton said a couple of weeks ago, he was explicit. He was asked about his pitching staff after one of the game, and he was asked a question. Before the question even finished, he said, we need another pitcher. We need another pitcher to step up if we are going to make a run in the postseason. And Ava Brown, because of her injury this year, has not been able to do that. She's only thrown 28 2/3 innings, working her way back to full strength. Could it be Olivia Miller? Will she take on a bigger role as Florida rolls in through postseason play? 3-2 here. That got the knob of the bat. So that's a foul ball to keep the at-bat alive.
Going up and in and just hurt it. Hit the knob of the bat. Pushed her hands back toward her because of that velocity. Olivia Miller was throwing 68 today.
Finally a ball put in play on the 9th pitch. It's an out for Wilson. If Florida makes a run, who is most likely to be that second pitcher? Do you think it's Miller, or do you think it's a more full-strength Brown down the line?
I'm sure that in talking about that, I was just thinking about this. Florida wants to win this game to see if they can possibly get Ava Brown some innings before regional play next weekend. But I think as of right now, it's Olivia Miller. Ava Brown came in. She got hit a little bit by Georgia, so I'm sure that they'd love to get her back out there, and that was the goal couple of weeks ago as well before the Georgia series. But Coach Walton was talking about how close the games had been. They played a lot of tight games and just hadn't felt completely comfortable to be able to bring Ava Brown out there for the first time. They got a big lead on Georgia, brought her out there, and then Georgia made this big comeback and scored a lot of runs. So Ava Brown, unfortunately, has not had a lot of time in the circle.
Shaw, ground ball pulled through the hole. That's a base hit for Kylie Shaw. The former Gator, 2 for 3 against her old club, and Auburn's got a runner on in the 4th.
Look at this lefty-on-lefty matchup. Look, easy. Kylie Shaw, some quick hands to that curveball that just bled back over the middle of the plate. Hits it hard to the right side. That speed on first.
Melissa Hastings takes down and away. Hastings has now seen 9 pitches, 9 balls. Auburn's leading hitter by average finally swings away. Second on the team in on base and slug. 12 doubles lead the Tigers. Transferred up from Lipscomb, was the 9-hitter the first 24 games of the year, and now it's her 31st game in a row as the number 2 hitter. So for Chris and Kate Malveaux, there was no messing around. Move her up a little bit here and there. No, it was straight from the bottom to the top, and she has been a model of consistency for a struggling team. That's off the glove of the new catcher, Ella Wesolowski. Jocelyn Erickson went to first this inning. Wesolowski behind the plate. She can't handle a Miller wild pitch. So Shaw moves into scoring position with 1 away. Ground ball left side that sneaks under the glove of Cahalan for a base hit. And after the wild pitch, Kylie Shaw is at third.
Take a look at the third baseman, Grover. She's going to be right here. So before the pitch is hit, Grover is already going to be moving back to third base. She was taking you see her move toward third base, and then Hastings is able to hit it past her. Had she not taken that motion toward third base, that's going to be an out for Florida's defense. So just anticipating a break to third, maybe covering for the steal.
So Hastings has reached all 3 times. By the way, that wild pitch has been changed to a passed ball against Wesolowski. So first and third, 1 out. Auburn looking to answer right back. And Michaela Walker, who grounds a ball through the left side, and Auburn does just that. They do answer back with Shaw, Hastings, and Walker, the top 3 hitters, going single, 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 and we're tied again, this time at 5.
Michaela Walker gets on top of this curveball. She is just such a pull hitter toward the left side, able to get it past Grover. Couple of defensive mistakes here by Florida with the pass ball, and then that it's not going to go down as an error for Grover, but if she's not breaking toward third base, it's another out for Florida.
Auburn has just set a new program record, 22 runs in the SEC tournament. Their previous high, 21, so they break that here in the 4th inning of game 3. And they still have 2 on with 1 out for Annalee Adams. Not just a long ball for this team. 3 straight singles, and now Adams, who batted with 3 on in the 3rd inning and doubled them all home. 2 on for the Tiger sophomore here. Adams only 4 for 26 against lefties this season. 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. And it's a ground ball against the lefty here. Out to the shortstop, Cahalan. The runners advance. Hastings and Walker move up a base on the 2nd out.
Smooth play by Cahalan. Tim Walton actually really likes Kinley Cahalan over at third base. Thinks that she's one of the best third basemen in the game. But with Grover and just the small roster that they have here at Florida, Grover is going to play third. Cahalan plays shortstop, which he's very familiar with, but great defensively over on the left side.
So 2 on, 2 out. Not like Miller has been getting crushed here. It's 4 straight ground balls, but 3 of them are hits. Now Womack, who's walked and homered in the game, 3 for 6 here at the tournament. 2 home runs, 3 walks. Her swing has come alive. Chris Malveaux said everyone has a different time frame, and we thought she'd have a breakout year this season. Taking a little bit of time, but she's had it. Spending a lot of time with DJ Sanders, their first base coach, and this was her home run in the second.
They've been just destroying rise balls as this entire Auburn team has been doing. So Rothrock being a tough matchup for Auburn right now with the way that they're seeing up in the zone.
Ground ball to a drawn-in Grover at third. That'll end the inning. Auburn ties it again. The Tigers have scored in 3 straight innings, and we're 5-5 on the seesaw in Lexington.
Walker with another RBI to tie this thing up. They are going to fight until the end.
Tournament on the SEC Network presented by T-Mobile, here with Auburn co-head coach Chris Malvo. Coach, pitching change for them. Olivia Miller was in the circle. What do you tell your lineup to adjust?
Really, obviously, it's going to look a lot different than what we just saw. How Rothrock likes to work, it's going to feel a lot different. Miller is from the left-hand side. Velo is close, but it's just cutting the different way now. So we've got to make that adjustment and being able to stay inside of that. Really, our big goal is going to be to get inside out, get a good pitch to hit, stay inside out, look to line some balls up.
How have you seen Abby settle in?
Oh, it's huge. It's probably hard to sit there throughout the week and watch everything happen from the side, and it's her first time getting in this weekend in this environment, and it's awesome to see her just kind of settle in and do her thing. She is a pitch to contact type kid and keeping the ball down, and she's doing her job. We just look to get one batter at a time.
Thanks, Coach.
War Eagle.
Alyssa, thank you. Chris Malvo stepping in there. We've heard Kate Malvo do the in-game interview, the co-head coaches, husband and wife. Here's the tournament resume. You have to have a 500 or better record to be tournament eligible. RPI 32, strength of schedule 6, 5-19 against the top 25. But the thought is, with the strength of schedule and RPI, Auburn would be selected if they can win today. They'll be 28-27. That guarantees they cannot finish with a losing record. I mean, if they win today, might as well just go on and win the whole thing. They'd play either Arkansas or Alabama. That's who the winner of this game will get tomorrow. And that is our next game, coming approximately 35 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. Auburn 33 games against teams in the top 50 of the RPI. They're only 9-24. So obviously they have struggled with those teams in quad 1 and quad 2. Top 25 and the top 50 RPI teams. But there will be enough good wins in there. They've certainly racked up a couple this week. Strength of schedule of 6, as we mentioned. So this is pretty much a win and in game for Auburn as far as the NCAA tournament. Question is, will the SEC have 12 of 15 teams make the field, or 13? Missouri finished under 500, as did Kentucky, so those two are ineligible.
We just don't get to see a run very often like what Auburn is doing at the SEC tournament, because usually when we get here, maybe teams are playing.
We'll will be fielded by the first baseman, Adams. Didn't want to let it try to roll foul, and Gabby Comia lugs out an infield single to start the 4th.
Hit this ball, but it'll work with the hustle that Comia has down the line. Bang, bang play. Auburn can't get to it fast enough, so almost like a swinging bunt with the second baseman covering first and Comia's speed. It's a close play at first. If I was Chris Malvo, I think I would challenge that just to take a look.
Well, you have the new double bag this year all across Division I softball, and Comia got to the green part of the bag. That's to avoid any collisions at first base. Taylor Shoemaker has her 28th multi-hit game of the year already today. Shoemaker leads the SEC in multi-hit games, 14th nationally with those 28.
See where the left fielder Shaw is playing so deep, heels against the warning track, and I mean, you don't see that very often. Oftentimes the left-handed hitter is going to have great pull power, right? But Taylor Shoemaker is the type of left-handed power hitter that has power to all fields, and Shaw being her, knowing her well, and the right side is actually a little bit shallower, but Shaw is playing very deep.
This one to shallow center field. Womack gets there, and Shoemaker is retired for the first time. So it did go to the opposite field ever so slightly. And here's Jocelyn Erickson with 1 on and 1 out. Erickson's flied out, been hit by a pitch. Ball 1 from Abby Herndon.
Well, Erickson's been much more aggressive this season. Last year, her first pitch swing percentage was only 9%. This year in 2026, she's doubled that to 18%. Remember her being a really patient hitter, really good eye at the plate, makes pitchers work. A year for her, though, with what you could say a little bit of a rebound. She was still an RBI producer last season, but her average is up, power numbers are up.
Another visit to the circle here from Riker Chasen. Auburn's pitching coach, Kate Malvo, brings the rest of the infield together.
And just like Jocelyn Erickson had 11 home runs in February, and half of her RBIs came in February. Similar to Auburn with the big offensive month that they had in February, Florida had a massive monster home run month and driving in RBIs, hitting for a high batting average. They're big players. The majority of their home runs, a good chunk of them, came in the month of February.
They do come into the tournament on a little bit of a down spell here, Florida. They beat Georgia last weekend in the opener of their series, then blew a 7-2 lead to lose game 2, and then were run 9-1 in 5 innings.
Ball out.
Back in February, they're hitting over 400, scoring close to 11 runs a game. They hit 55 home runs in that 1 month, and then in March, April, and May, hitting just over 343 home runs, so fewer home runs. You're playing SEC competition, I totally get that, but when you're a team like Florida that hit 55 home runs in February, you're like talking about their offense right there next to the offense of Oklahoma. Going, man, how many home runs are they going to hit this year? And it's trailed off just a little bit.
Erickson takes a strike, and Comia is safe at second on a steal, the second stolen base for the Gators today. Gabby Comia swipes her team-leading 10th in as many tries, and Florida has the runner at second for their RBI leader, Erickson. Knocked in 69 on the year. And Erickson, it's a little pop fly off the glove of the shortstop, Hastings, and it kicks away. Here comes Comia, waved in to score. A great read at the end by Gabby Comia, and Tim Walton waving her in from third, and a dropped pop-up gives the Gators the lead.
The outfield is playing so deep, respecting the power of Erickson, and Hastings had a beat on it, but then Shaw is just too close to her to be able to be a real backup. Once it bounces off of her glove, it's going to go down As an air hit, they're still trying to figure it out. But remember, that steal by Comia got her to second base and allowed her to score on that mistake.
It'll be an E6, Auburn's second error of the game. Erickson to second on the play. 2 errors and a pass ball for Auburn today. The worst fielding percentage in the SEC. Remember, yesterday Auburn won 11-8. It was tied for the highest scoring game in SEC tournament history. We're more than halfway to that number in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 for Ava Brown. Game with 2 solo home runs, but the other 9 runs have scored in some unusual ways. Plenty more action in the Auburn bullpen. All hands on deck here in this potential season finale. We've seen S.J. Guerin up and throwing. We've seen Charlie Butler up and throwing. Ella Harrison started the game, lasted just 2 1/3 innings. And Abby Herndon trying to limit the damage in the 4th. She'll throw a 3-2 to Brown, who's 1 for 2. And she'll miss inside. Ava Brown is on for a second time with a walk and a single. Riker Jason's already made a visit to the circle, so the coaches can't make another visit unless they want to change the pitcher. Townsend Thomas now with an RBI double in the 3rd. And Thomas lays down a bunt foul.
The tricky part about her is that even Tim Walton said she could hit a grand slam and have a bunt single in the same game. She can move her feet through the box. She has so many different tools. It's just not very often that you see somebody like her in that 4-hole.
15 bunt hits and 5 home runs. Thomas waited back just about as long as she possibly could there. It's 0-2. Redshirt freshman who took a redshirt year last season after she had a weird hand injury, in the words of Tim Walton. Wasn't perfect throughout the fall, ended up having surgery. Strikes out swinging here. So Herndon had her all off kilter. Second strikeout for Abby in relief.
Abby Herndon is so tough because of that velocity range. You mentioned it, 15 to 16 miles an hour between her hard stuff and her slow stuff with the changeup. This is her changeup, gets her way out in front and chasing.
2 on, 2 out. Kenley Cahalan.
Ball.
Back to the hard stuff for ball 1. Fourth inning that seemed to unfold in slow motion for both teams. Each team has scored. There have been 4 hits, all ground balls. We've seen an error, we've seen a walk. And now we see a line drive to right into the glove of Walker. Once again, Florida answers Auburn's run with a score of its own. Back and forth we go in Lexington. Remember that scoreless first inning? 6 straight half innings with a run. Auburn scores, Florida answers, Auburn answers, Florida answers, and back and forth we go. A wild quarterfinal to start our quarterfinal Thursday of the SEC tournament. 6 straight runs, or 6 straight half innings with a run. 6, 7, and 8 for Auburn here. Tigers needing to win to become NCAA tournament eligible. If they lose, they'll finish their season a game under 500, and they will be left out of the postseason mix.
Ball.
Destiny Rodriguez batting here, number 6 hitter against Olivia Miller in the 5th. Kevin Brown and Amanda Scarborough up here in the booth. Alyssa Lang down below, our SEC tournament crew, with 4 great matchups for you today. Still to come, Alabama and Arkansas. And the second game of our morning doubleheader, which is stretched into the afternoon already. And there are the Crimson Tide. There's the head coach, Pat Murphy, doing a little pregame interview in front of his team.
Ball out.
Excited to watch them play. Alabama just has had such a strong year since opening weekend. They came out just absolutely on fire in every aspect of the game, and they haven't really looked back.
3-1 from Miller to Rodriguez. Fly ball into center field. Shoemaker right in front of the wall reels it in.
Where that wind is blowing out, so it just continued to carry, and Shoemaker just kept her feet moving and just trusting where her hand is, and that wall was just going to be approaching soon, but the wind is blowing out, had a little bit of carry to that ball.
Destiny's 0 for 3, and here's Haven Roebuck. Fielders not required for Haven Roebuck, who's not put the ball in play in any of her 9 plate appearances this SEC tournament. She has 2 home runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. A true 3 true outcomes hitter here in Lexington. Until now. Her 10th plate appearance, her first ball in play, and it's right to Shoemaker. So are we going to have our first scoreless half inning since the bottom of the first? Ava Ratliff will have a say in that.
Ball.
The tough part for Auburn hitting against Olivia Miller is that she's only given up 1 home run all season. That has been what Auburn has been doing here at the SEC tournament, and it is tough to get underneath one and drive it out of here against Olivia Miller, because she keeps the ball down with her curveball that has a little bit of down tail to it. And she's had a really solid year. 60 innings pitched coming into this game, but a 1.54 ERA. It's tough to get extra base hits against her. Just 8 doubles and a home run.
That only home run she allowed came against Alexis Ramirez of UCLA way back in February. Fair ball inside the bag by Ratliff, who keeps the inning alive with a 2-out single.
Well, and all UCLA has done is hit 163 home runs this year, and that was one of them. Great hands by Ratliff to get her barrel to this inside pitch. It's a ball or 2 off the plate, but gets that pitch out in front. Grover tries to dive, but Auburn a couple of times been using the line and the pull side. They pull a lot of pitches toward the left side.
There's a line drive to right by Dago Wilson. Drops in for another hit. 2 outs, nobody on. And the 8 and 9 hitters, Ratliff and Wilson, extend the inning for the top of the lineup.
Did I just say they pull the ball a lot? And using the complete other side of the field, just really just sticks her barrel out that outside pitch and lets Olivia Miller provide the power.
Allison Sparkman was throwing, and now will walk in from the Florida bullpen. Not walking in for a pitching change, just stopping throwing. As Chris Malvo is going to make an Auburn substitution, get a pinch runner out at second for Ratliff. Talia Martin is the runner. So Auburn has used its top 2 pinch runners, Lessman and now Martin in the game. Maybe only 7 outs left in their season. Pushing the envelope with Kylie Shaw at the plate. He's 4 for 9 with 2 walks here in the tournament, 2 hits today.
Chris Malvo had said when they saw her in the portal, we had to have her. Kylie Shaw actually graduated high school a semester early and went to Florida. And she's somebody that Chris Malvo recruited whenever he was at Tennessee. Overachiever, driven, just a great teammate. That gets an unfortunate strike call there for a ball like a little bit off the plate in that 2-0 count. Not one that you want to swing at if you're Kylie Shaw, but just a tremendous eye this season for her.
That's a strike around the corner, 2. It's 2-2. Marty Abzishin, the plate umpire today in this first quarterfinal game. Shaw was 0 for 10 against the Gators in the regular season. And she strikes out swinging here. Miller with a roar as she strands 2 Tigers. A high five from her fired up head coach. And the Gators finally keep Auburn off the board for the first time since the first.
Went to the curveball 3 times in a row and gets Shaw to chase that curveball about a ball off the plate, but you can't take it. It was just called for a strike earlier in the count. Tim Walt loves the Olivia Miller emotion in the circle.
Kendall Wells displaying the power bat that she is known for.
Kendall Wells sets a new NCAA freshman home run record.
Wells in the air to center. There it is! Number 35!
There's just one record left to break for Kendall Wells. 1 away from the record of Laura Espinosa, 37 home runs, but Megan Cran is 1 behind her and Jordan Woolery in hot pursuit. Those 3 trying to track down the all-time single-season Division I home run record, and Kendall Wells can tie or break it tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, against Georgia, right here on SEC Network.
Well, you know who else plays tonight?
UCLA.
That's UCLA. Megan Grant with 35 home runs. UCLA as a team and Oklahoma as a team are tied for the lead. I mean, I feel like this is just going to continue on through the postseason.
The team D1 record, 173. Oklahoma and UCLA are even at that. Ground ball pulled hot to short. Hastings throws out Grover, who had homered and singled, driven in 2. Abby Herndon still out there in relief with a 6-5 Florida lead here in the 5th.
Alyssa Hastings decided to position herself in that 5-6 hole, knowing that Grover had some pull power earlier in the game, and she was in the right place at the right time. Auburn has been playing some pretty dramatic defensive shifts.
For the first time today, the Tigers get the leadoff runner out. Turned in low to Cassidy McClellan. 6 runs for the Gators, 7 hits. They've walked twice. They've been hit by a pitch. Auburn's committed 2 errors and a pass ball as well. 1-1 for McClellan, who has grounded out and struck out swinging. Florida 47-9 this year. Number 5 in the RPI into the day. Number 2 non-conference RPI. And it's a Gator team that is 25-9 in quads 1 and 2 this year. The quads based on RPI of opposition where you play that. Those 25 wins are tied for the second most quad 1 and 2 wins in the nation this year, only behind Alabama, who will be playing Arkansas in the next game. And the 25 wins in quads 1 and 2 are tied with Arkansas and Oklahoma. I want to ding Florida's resume a little. They're only 9-8 in quad 1. Obviously, that's still great. They're 16-1 in quad 2, so a lot of their work has been done in the second quadrant. But a very good resume, in line for a top 8 seed, no question. As McClellan is in a 3-2 count. They'll be hosting a regional, and if they win that, they'll be hosting a super regional in Gainesville. Tim Walton said maybe a little bit better non-conference strength of schedule than people thought. Number 12, the non-conference strength of schedule. That is ball 4 to McClellan, and she is on with a walk.
Close pitch on the outside corner. Maybe just a little bit low, possibly. Good eye by McClellan. Draw that walk.
If you're Abby Herndon, you're thinking pretty good looking pitch. Marty Abzetian said ball 4. And Ella Wesolowski will hit for the first time today. Came into the game to catch, replacing Madison Walker. That's a strike low to Wesolowski. Wesolowski, 362 on base percentage, 473 sluggings, and a nice junior season coming over from Mississippi State. Rounds it foul off herself, 0-2.
Coach Walton earlier in the year talked about Wesolowski and just how much she loves to catch and how she takes pride in her catching. Says that she loves to catch and likes to hit. You know, like you either, I feel like, love and like one or the other. You probably could, you know, kind of like both, but there's one that you give the edge to, and for Wesolowski, it's catching. And she's gotten a lot of time with Jocelyn Erickson as well. They've gotten to rotate, which has kept Erickson's legs, I think, a little bit fresher. Erickson's so good at first base. So you bring in Wesolowski, and she can get tribute back behind the plate. Another great option to give Erickson a rest back behind the plate.
Started 27 games at catcher. Erickson started 30. I mean, Jocelyn Erickson is a back-to-back Rawlings Gold Glove winner. There have only been 3 of those since this award's been handed out the last couple of years. Kendra Falby, currently the first base coach, is another. So you have to be pretty good. Even though Erickson needs rest, you have to be pretty good to match that kind of standard. Wesolowski is very good back there.
Talking about
well-rested Jocelyn Erickson, you could see Florida do whatever they want. Wesolowski catch, Walker at first, Erickson at first. They can mix and match, Amanda, here in the postseason.
Well, they're playing with 3 infielders on the left side. Their second baseman is a huge shift.
And of course she hits it to the right side. And gets in there to leg out a fielder's choice.
Can almost beat the shift. Adams is playing a little bit off the line as well, and so it was just hit right at her.
A 3-4 fielder's choice. Well, the one infielder on that side was in the right place, so it worked out. And here's Gabby Comia. Omia has struck out, singled, and stolen a base, and she takes strike one from Herndon. Pretty good in relief for Auburn. 2 1/3, just 1 unearned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Pitcher now with a 6.29 ERA has largely held the Gators at bay. Slapped out of play, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, a lot of soft contact from her because of that changeup and the way that she keeps the ball down in the zone. Just a good compliment to Harrison. And good for her for just being ready. Had not pitched in this SEC tournament the first couple of games. Her name is called upon in this quarterfinal game, season on the line. Need her to come in and shut down a very good offense.
Oh.
And she's come in and done her job. Defense has let her down a little bit at times, but soft contact and been able to get some quick outs.
Auburn in the league this season at a 6.28 ERA, allowed 11 hits per 7 innings. They're getting contributions from Herndon and Butler in relief this week. Here's a ground ball slapped to short. Hastings throws that come in. It's a scoreless 5th inning for both teams. To the 6th we go in Lexington.
Well, coming up, we are getting set for our Crimson and Razorback Red clash on the diamond behind us. We will talk to Alabama's Alexis Papillo coming up to preview that game. But how about this one? Auburn's season on the line.
Yeah, Auburn actually out-hitting Florida. The difference is an error.
Yeah, could be a great finish here. Excited to see what Auburn cooks up.
We got our popcorn ready, Kevin. Let's go.
Do you? I thought we had it all in the booth here. I'm just glad some of it made it out to left field. It's only taking 3 days. We'll see you all in between games. It is going to be a great second game. Alabama and Arkansas 1-2 in the RPI. But what's at stake here? Auburn 1 win away from NCAA tournament eligibility. Florida would have its second largest comeback win tied in SEC tournament history. And that's off the glove of Townsend Thomas. A foul ball hit by Alyssa Hastings. Would have been another excellent play by Thomas, who comes up moving slowly after banging into the fence.
Hit off of her glove, just a ball that she should catch. She had to give Hastings another try, jammed her knee into the fence over there. Hopefully she's okay.
Oh.
Florida in 2019 in the tournament trailed 4-0 against South Carolina. Came back to win 6-5. 2009 they trailed Tennessee 3-0, then blasted them 11-3. So that's tied for the second largest comeback win for the Gators at this event. And Hastings blisters the ball up the middle, given a second life after that uncaught foul ball in left. She has reached all 4 times.
Alyssa Hastings just drives this ball right back up the middle. She's been on base all 4 of her plate appearances here in this quarterfinal game. Alyssa Hastings playing in her first SEC tournament. She was wide-eyed before the first game, just trying to take it all in when I was down on the field.
Oh. Out.
Zalewski tried to pick her off on ball 1 to Walker.
And she was just settled in nicely despite being wide-eyed and seeing all the signs and taking pictures. Truly just a softball fan playing in their first SEC tournament.
Olivia Miller behind Michaela Walker 2-0. Stephanie Van Brakel Prothro is going out to the circle. And what is Florida going to do to close this game? Keegan Rothrock, who threw the first 3 innings, is out there getting loose again for a potential re-entry. Caitlin Oxley next to her as well.
All hands on deck for Florida as well. We've seen, I think, their entire staff warm up at this point. The message here from Stephanie is just keep doing what you've been doing. Throw strikes. I mean, Olivia Miller has been fantastic. Feed your defense, roll a ground ball, or 1 double play, 1 pitch away from 2 outs in this inning, and you could do this.
In 2 innings pitched, she's allowed 6 hits, but they've all been singles, and only 1 unearned run has scored against her. No walks, 1 strikeout, keeping the ball on the ground. Auburn has found some holes. And now Miller falls behind Michaela Walker 3-0. Couple of comeback wins in the SEC tournament this year. 12 of the 27 wins for Auburn have been comebacks this season. And that's the first walk issued by Miller. It puts Michaela Walker aboard, and it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out for Auburn, down 1 here in the 6th. The cleanup hitter, Annalie Adams, has the biggest Tiger hit of the game. Inside to Adams, who did this in the 3rd.
Crushed a double up of Keegan Rothrock, up and in on her hand. Just not up enough, not in enough. You have to be so careful when you go into these Auburn power hitters. In must be in.
High strike 1 to Adams. Chris Malveaux talked to us about Walker and Adams, who had really struggled down the stretch. He said, people can abort ship a little bit at the wrong moments. We need discipline from them. We need good swing decisions. They need this! Adams with a 3-run homer! Her 2nd 3-run hit of the game. And here they go again. Auburn has come back once more. And Adams puts the Tigers on top by 2.
You said it, that Chris Malveaux was looking for discipline from Walker and Adams, and Walker draws the walk. Adams gets a pitch that she wants to hit. He said not just in what we are swinging at, but how we attempt. And you've seen that from Auburn. Be disciplined, go after the pitch that they want and put their best swing on it. They have been fearless. Once they go, they have been gone. Barreling up ball after ball. Just the 2nd home run that Olivia Miller has given up this entire season is off the bat of Annalie Adams, giving Auburn the lead. Unbelievable at bats that they continue to put together.
Olivia Miller was the only qualified SEC pitcher not to allow a home run to an SEC hitter. Not anymore. What a tournament for Adams. And we just update this graphic every inning. 9 home runs for the Tigers in the tournament, playing a 3rd consecutive must-win game, and they now have the lead with 6 outs to go.
You can just tell this team is having fun. They are believing. They are in it, supporting each other, and just playing like they have nothing to lose when they have everything to lose. Their entire season on the line, and they just do not go away. And think about, Kevin, too, how many runs that Auburn has scored in the 6th and the 7th inning. I mean, we're not just talking about a team that scores early and goes away. This team scores in so many different innings, but especially late in the game in the 6th and the 7th innings.
Talking to Kate Malvo before this game, guys, I was asking her, what have you been doing the last couple nights? She said, really nothing different. And then Chris walked over and we talked about how all season long they've been trying to find different buttons to push for this team, ways to push them to be competitive, ways to push them to overcome adversity. And they were adamant. This run here in the postseason is all them. They have made this decision mentally to play the way they have the last 2.5 games.
What a strange feeling, Alyssa. That must be for a head coach to feel like you're doing nothing, but maybe everything you've done to this point finally seeped in. Auburn had been 0-19 this year. 0-19 when trailing into the 6th inning until they beat Missouri on Tuesday, and now they're trying to beat Florida while trailing into the 6th on Thursday. Mania Womack with a sky-high fly, and that'll be a quick out for Caitlin Oxley, who is the 3rd Florida pitcher.
Caitlin Oxley got a lot of time as a freshman through some injuries that the pitching staff went through last year when she was a freshman. She got to get a lot of SEC experience. Somewhat inflated ERA this season, but she is a pitcher that has pitched in a lot of SEC games.
Two-plus innings for Miller, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, a walk, and a strikeout. Line drive, Destiny Rodriguez is in the book with a base hit. The spirit of the 2021 Oklahoma Sooners has overtaken 14-seeded Auburn here. This is just crazy. 6 runs against Missouri, 11 against Texas A&M, and now 8 against a Florida team that had the 13th best ERA in the country, 2.59 coming into the game. Want to know for Roebuck, who finally put a ball in play last time and lined out. She's also struck out and walked.
Seems like a long time ago now that she got the home run party started, huh? It was back on Tuesday.
They were shut out through 5 innings by Missouri. And the game Sierra Harrison pitched for Missouri, and it's devastating that it's her final game. She's a senior, looks better and better the further along we go. She shut out Auburn for 5 innings before being replaced in the 6th inning. A run was charged to her, and Auburn has hit every single pitcher that's come in from that time on.
Ball up.
Maybe the exception of Marissa McCann, who threw a scoreless 7th, but did give up an inherited run in that game. But Oxley is in hot water already. She walks Roebuck. 6 walks for Auburn in the game. 2 on, 1 out for Ava Ratliff. A game they have to win. 1-0 to Ratliff. I expected this could be the highest scoring SEC tournament ever. We expected that, frankly, because of Florida, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas. Not because of Auburn, a 14 seed out of 15, a team that had a 4-20 SEC record. A program that's been one and done at the tournament for the last 5 years coming into this season. Haven't won 3 games of the SEC tournament since they won the title a decade ago. Ratliff 1 out of 3. Down to the 8th spot where she had the game-winning 3-run homer in the 7th yesterday. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And they just continue to speak life into each other in the dugout. Not just life, but belief into each other. Knowing that when they're in the box, that they're not alone, that they're connected with their teammates, whether they're on base or in the dugout. Even have a certain hand sign that they do to remind each other when they're in the box.
Ratliff on a hop and eats up the shortstop. Cahalan sits in left field. It's going to load the bases as Thomas came up firing, and Kate Malvo held Rodriguez. Just the 6th error of the season against Cahalan.
Hard hit by Ratliff to the left side, and Cahalan has such a good glove, but just cannot handle that hop because of the exit velocity off the bat. And it looked like Riker Chasen, who's now coaching third, trying to pick pitches, was going to send her for a second. And he's not in that position very often. He's not the normal third base coach, so was telling her to go and then threw up the stop sign. And then he looked back over to the Auburn dugout to Chris and Kate Malveaux, like a thumbs up, like did I do the right thing? He is there. He is over at the third base coach's box to try to pick pitches for these Florida pitchers.
Usually is Kate, but we've seen Riker Chasen out there the last 2 days during the game. Dago Wilson, number 9 hitter, takes a strike from Oxley.
You want more if you are Auburn. 2 runs just does not feel big enough, or like a big enough of a lead to go up against Florida, who has one of the best offenses in the country and still has plenty of outs to play with.
Wilson only 8 RBIs on the season. Lines it just foul. Tim Walton's going to come out after that foul ball from the ump cam. You can see it was close to the base runner Rodriguez and close to being a game-breaking extra base hit. And Tim Walton is going to make a pitching change on a 1-2 count. It'll be Leah Stevens, his 3rd reliever used in the game. Stevens comes in on 1 and 2 with the bases loaded. If this game couldn't get any nuttier, there's going to be a lot to listen to on Tuesday night when SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the SEC softball tournament for never-before-seen footage and sounds from the week here in Lexington. 10 Eastern, 9 Central, right here on SEC Network. The stuff we are seeing is, so that'll be must-watch TV on Tuesday night to get you ready for all the SEC teams that are going to the NCAA tournament. So Leah Stevens on a 1-2 count, Amanda. What a strange situation this is for the freshman.
Hey, I mean, if you're going to enter in relief, you might as well enter into a pitcher's count, right? I mean, not an easy situation to enter into ever with the bases loaded, but give me a pitcher's count for a freshman to pitch in her first SEC tournament game.
And a third base coach change. Kate Malveau's back to third.
After that close call, Riker Chasen's like, get over here.
Yeah. 1-2 pitch, ground ball, hit to short. Cahalan gets crushed. She got run into by the runner Roebuck. And Steve Gould throws his hands up here. And what'll be the decision from Steve Gould? He's going to call for an out. And now he's going to check with Marty Abzishin here. So Marty is going to send Destiny Rodriguez, the runner from third, back to third base, and the run will not score. All right, Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst, is with us. Christy, what's going on here?
Kevin, you're correct. We have a dead ball interference on the runner advancing from second to third, so she's out, which then kills the play, so the runner who apparently scored has to go back to third base.
All right, Christy, thank you so much. 3-time World Series umpire Christy Cornwell. That's a huge, huge break for Florida, which gets the out and doesn't give up the run.
As a runner, you have to give that defender a chance to field the ball and make the throw without running into her, and just not do that.
So Roebuck, who was the runner who collided, she is out. Ratliff goes to second, Wilson to first. It's a very odd fielder's choice. And now the bases are loaded for Kylie Shaw. 2-out pitch to Auburn's leadoff hitter. The 9th Tiger of the inning is a strike. Shaw has grounded out, singled twice, and struck out. Facing a third different pitcher. And she takes wide. Remember, in the third inning, Auburn scored 3, sent 9 to the plate, but Townsend Thomas made a great catch against Ava Ratliff to rob her of a 3-run double. It was a big inning that could have been more. Can they get a little extra now? Shaw takes a strike, and it's 2-2.
How big does that catch look now? I mean, it looked really big at the time, but even bigger now. Auburn just has had multiple chances with the bases loaded in this game.
2-2 for the leadoff hitter, Shaw. Ground ball, second base. Comia gets the outs. Florida leaves him loaded, but Auburn unloaded him early on a 3-run Adams bomb.
They continue to get off their best swings in the biggest moments. Doesn't matter if it's early in the game, middle of the game, late in the game. This Auburn team showing so much fight. Annalie Adams now with 6 RBIs at the SEC in an SEC game.
The 2026 SEC Softball Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by T-Mobile, America's best network.
6 RBIs, tying a career high for Annalie Adams. She's tied the SEC tournament record as well. Auburn 8, Florida 6, 18 hits, 4 errors, 14 runs. And we're not done yet. Top of the Florida lineup, Taylor Shoemaker, Jocelyn Erickson, and Ava Brown will bat in the 6th inning. With a win, Auburn becomes NCAA tournament eligible. They would have a winning record and guarantee at worst a 500 record. And here is the unsung hero of the game. You just saw Abby Herndon in the circle, who's thrown 2 2/3 in relief of Ella Harrison and allowed only an unearned run.
Her changeup has just given Florida fits. I mean, she's been able to throw it well. She's been able to get them to chase that pitch. And best of all, when she's come in, very similar to what Olivia Miller was doing from the left-hand side, she's kept the ball down.
The last time Abby Herndon pitched 5 days ago, she got 1 out and gave up 8 earned runs. That was in the 25-0 loss at LSU. A game that could just destroy a pitcher's confidence. So 5 days after giving up 8 earned runs in a third of an inning, leaving with a cool 168 ERA for the day, she has shut down one of the best lineups in the country in a do-or-die game. 2-2 for Shoemaker. And a line drive inside the bag, a base hit. A 3-hit game for Taylor Shoemaker.
Her hands are just so quiet. She can turn on pitches and she can let pitches get deep. She was pitched to the outside corner, so she was looking to that side and let that pitch travel to just drive it the opposite way. Look how deep she let that pitch get. Hard hit again for Shoemaker.
Jocelyn Erickson, the tying run, 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Erickson explodes on a ball to deep right, and she ties the game. Number 50 is a Gator for Jocelyn Erickson. Auburn 8, Florida the 5th Florida Gator with 50 home runs. Not many of them bigger than this.
Sitting back on that changeup that was just left up. It's been up in this inning for Herndon, and Erickson just is not fooled at all. She is on time with that pull power. We have seen so many home runs like that from Jocelyn Erickson in her career. Swinging at the first pitch, which she is doing more this season.
Snaps her longest homerless drought of this season at 12 games. She's now 2 shy of the program record. Brittany Taylor Shoemaker, the latter of whom did it last year. And all those records and all that history are great, but in the here and now, Florida is alive again. One and one to Ava Brown now, as once again Auburn scores in the top of an inning, and for the 4th time today. They've scored in 4 innings. Florida has scored as many runs or more in the first 3, and they answer Auburn's 3 with 2 so far to tie the game. So they've had 4 answer backs, and Erickson with the Gators' 2nd home run of the game ties it at 8. Ava Brown yanks it foul.
Been thinking about this. I think that this game is very similar to what we're going to see in the NCAA tournament. With all the offense that's going on in our game, I think that we are getting a sneak peek into the NCAA tournament. And it's going to matter who is the home team, because you want the last swing, you want the last say, you want the last 3 outs to be able to make a statement. With all the offense, I think this is exactly how the postseason is going to be all season, all May long.
And we get 6 more games of the SEC tournament that could feel like this. 3 more today. If there's a game that might be a pitcher's duel, it could be our next game, Arkansas, Alabama. We haven't seen lineups, but pretty likely it'll be Brisky versus Heron, 2 of the aces of the SEC. Well, those teams can swing it too, so who knows. 2-2 for Brown. Ground ball foul.
I just think too, Kevin, it's just going to be more likely to have, we throw the word parity around, but more upsets, more anybody can beat anybody in regionals, and then of course in super regionals. Like, I just think that there's so many national championship contenders, like in Alabama, like in Arkansas, who we'll see play next, maybe like a Florida and Auburn playing like a national championship contender with the way that they played here in Lexington.
Last year we had this wide open year where Oklahoma's all-time dynastic run was barely snapped. Lost to Texas Tech in the semifinals. Texas won the title. Those 3 teams are all very much in the mix again, and the Gators think they could be too. 3-2 is in the dirt. Brown slams her bat after a walk, and Florida's got the go-ahead run aboard with nobody out. Timwald does not have a big bench, but with Ava Brown still recovering to full strength from that lower leg injury, he'll use this time to get in a pinch runner. Kelly Matsuno is the pinch runner here, getting instructions from Kendra Falby, who is a pretty good person to get base running instructions from. One of the great base stealers in Florida history. Townsend Thomas now. How will she play this? Not showing, but takes a strike.
The corners are coming hard in, anticipating a bunt too, but she can keep her feet still and hit the ball hard past them. But you see Roebuck, the third baseman, playing well up the line, and so is Adams at first.
Thomas in her last 10 games coming into the tournament, 15 for 31. 4 extra base hits, 10 RBIs. Hitting .484 with an OPS near 1,300. She's got an RBI double in 3 trips today. There's the bunt, and it's fouled off for strike 2. All Well, quiet on the bullpen front for Auburn at the moment, with Abby Herndon about to throw her 70th pitch in relief. Thomas grounds it over to first. A little bobble by Adams. She can't control it. Adams, the hero in the top of the inning with a 3-run homer, commits a crucial error in the bottom.
It's all because of Thomas's speed. Right here when she bobbled it, she knows she has to pick it up and go. And she tried to run to first base before she actually had the ball because of the speed of Townsend Thomas. Put pressure on her to be as quick as she possibly could, got ahead of herself. She says to her team, that's my bad, and Auburn is just in a big pickle here with Cahalan coming up with her RBI home run power.
Annalie Adams' 10th error of the year and Auburn's 3rd of the game, and Chris Malvo will make a pitching change. And it's going to be Charlie Butler out of the bullpen for a 3rd straight day. Herndon pitched so well for 2 2/3, but here in the 6th, single homer walk error. That's the first of 4 games today. Alabama and Arkansas 35 minutes after the conclusion of this one. And then the night session with Texas against Ole Miss, a 14 seed in the quarterfinals, and Auburn. Ole Miss, a great story too, a 13 seed. Made it to the World Series last year, looking for another late season surge. And then Oklahoma, Georgia, could be 16 runs in that game. Auburn needs to win to become eligible for the NCAA tournament. Florida has trailed by 3, which would be their 2nd largest comeback win, tied in SEC tournament history. They trailed 4-1, then they trailed 8-6 coming into this inning.
Ole Miss is looking good. Pitching really well. Ole Miss had a very tough SEC schedule, especially to start SEC play. I think that they learned a lot from those series.
Well, what have you made of Charlie Butler, man? 2 games and 2 wins out of the bullpen in the tournament.
I really liked her first appearance against Missouri. I felt like she was throwing a heavy ball. Didn't feel quite the same against A&M yesterday in terms of just here watching her pitch, but the way that she was sneaking pitches inside to the right-handed hitters and just creating a lot of weak ground balls to her infield and jamming them up was something that stuck out to me. So has it inside of her. We'll see how she feels today, her 3rd day pitching in a row.
See if Florida bunts with 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Cahalan's typically a great line drive and power hitter. Only 1 sack bunt on the year. And she's going to look to swing away, as you might expect. Kenleigh Cahalan, the 17th and final pick in the AUSL draft. And play professionally next year, but has, she hopes, a long postseason ahead of her first. A little ground ball back to Butler. Goes to 3rd, gets the out on the lead runner, Matsuno. And that's 1. Saw a lot of that on Tuesday. Charlie Butler induced 6 ground ball outs in her 3 innings of relief. Kendall Grover with a home run and an RBI single is knocked in 2. Strike called to Grover.
Nice changeup, dropping it in there for the first pitch of the at-bat, setting the tone right at the knees on the outside corner. It's a freshman pitching in a big moment for her team season.
Go ahead run at 2nd is Thomas. Cahalan behind her.
Ball.
Grover sees it low. The first ever back-to-back OVC Player of the Year in the Ohio Valley Conference at Eastern Illinois the last 2 years. Gators just 1 for 10 today, runners in scoring position, and Grover changes that. Rips one to left, Thomas gets the wave. Shaw's throw is cut off. Florida has the lead on the third run-scoring hit of the day for Kendall Grover.
At this point, you just expect her to crush a ball to the left side, and it's exactly what she does here. Gets a firmer pitch, took a couple of change-ups to get that inside pitch that Charlie Butler is used to jamming right hitters up on, and Grover looked like she was looking for it. Gets her barrel there out in front and gets it over to the lead.
She's crushed Auburn this year. She's 7 for 13, knocked in 5. She's walked, she's homered twice, she's stolen twice. She has been an absolute thorn in the Tigers' side. And Florida has matched Auburn's run tally within the inning again. 4 times Auburn had an opportunity for a shutdown inning. All 4 times Florida either matched or exceeded their run total from the top half of the inning. Now McClellan, who walked in the 5th. Cahalan at second, Grover at first. And McClellan chases strike 3.
This pitch has a little bit of up to it on the outside corner. You see that backward rotation. A rise ball on the outside corner gets McClellan to chase that pitch for a big second out of this inning.
Another visit to the circle for Riker Chasen. 2-run homer for Erickson tied it, and then Kendall Grover gave them the lead. Tim Walton said, I didn't know her at all when she went into the portal from Eastern Illinois. But she was, like Keegan Rothrock, an Indiana Gator when she was around 6 or 7. We've seen that famous photo of Keegan the last couple of years. So Kendall was a Gator, and maybe she was destined to be a Florida Gator too. She said, I didn't have a way to get a hold of her. I somehow got in touch, and she's going to graduate in August with a degree from Florida. A kid who struggled a little bit with strikeouts early, but had a lot more power than they thought when they got her in the fall.
She had a lot to tell Wesolowski in that little conversation with Eric Thomas and Wesolowski and Grover there. She was giving Wesolowski a ton of tips from her AB.
Wesolowski on the first pitch off the end of the bat. It drops in for a hit. And the 4th run of this Gator 6th. Was it squared up? Didn't need to be. Ella Wesolowski makes it 10-8.
She's out in front of this. It's an outside pitch, and it's not even a changeup, but she's out in front of it, probably looking for something in, trying to get her barrel there. So she is ready for something quick. Gets to the outside corner off the end of the bat, floats it into the outfield.
A 4-run Florida 6. Look at Shoemaker right now, boogieing her way back toward the dugout. She's the on-deck hitter. And Florida's going to pinch hit for Gabby Comia. Well, how does Florida get the final 3 outs? Maybe the way they got the first 9. Under the watchful eye of her pitching coach, Stephanie Van Brakel, pro throw. Keegan Rothrock warms up.
It's telling that Van Brakel is out there with Keegan Rothrock in the bullpen. I mean, she's likely to go in the 7th.
Julia Desiderio has been their high-pressure situation pinch hitter. Had a pinch hit home run against Georgia in Game 2 to tie the game in the 7th. And Desiderio is going to try to add on here with a 10-8 lead. Auburn's season suddenly has 3 outs left in it. And Desiderio's trying to inflict more pain. 5 for 10 with a home run as a pinch hitter this year. In the top of the 7th, Auburn will have Hastings, Walker, and then Adams, who has 6 RBIs in the game. Anybody gets on Manaea Womack, who's homered off of Keegan Rothrock.
Well, and the benefit for Keegan Rothrock to warm up right now with Stephanie Van Brakel-Prothro is that they can go through the hitters that are due up, and Keegan Rothrock and her pitching coach can get on the same page for the most important 3 outs of this game of, hey, this is who's coming up, this is how we've gotten them out, this is how we're going to attack them the next time that they come up, and that is why she is out there right now.
A hitter she struggled to get out. Those 3 due up have reached base 4 of 6 times against her today. So she's going to have to tweak something after she's been in the dugout and in the bullpen for a long time. She came out of this game after 3 innings. And there have been a boatload of runs scored since. 2-2 for Desiderio. Round ball softly hit toward the middle. Hastings goes to first and gets the out. Auburn got 3 in the 6th. And Florida answered back in a big way. A 4-run inning for the Gators. Erickson tied it with her 50th Florida homer. Grover gives the Gators the lead, and Auburn has 3 outs to save its season. Let's take a look at the best in the game, brought to you by T-Mobile.
It's going to be Kendall Grover. Every time that Auburn has scored, Florida has scored. And that was the first answer back after a solo home run in the top of the 2nd inning by Grover. She answered back with her own solo home run and has just not looked back, barreling up the ball left and right, coming up and giving her team the lead in the 6th inning. And Grover, what a day at the plate. She has been smoking the ball on the pull side.
3 run scoring hits, and oh, the drama. Keegan Rothrock, who started this game, has a homecoming to the circle here in the 7th. Hoping it'll be a brand new day for her, because these Auburn challengers scored 4 runs, walked 4 times in her 3 innings. And Rothrock, with a 2-run lead, will try to send Florida to the semifinals and send Auburn home. Alyssa Hastings has been untouchable in the game. 2 walks against Rothrock, singled against Olivia Miller. And then in the 6th inning, singled against Miller again. Florida used 3 pitchers in that 6th inning. Auburn scored 3 to take the lead. The Gators get 4 and take the lead back. And here we go. There was a timing violation, apparently, to start this sequence. So it's 2-0 because of a timing violation. There was a timing violation on Rothrock, not throwing her first pitch before the allotted pitch clock. Christy, what do you have on this?
Yeah, so what happened was the pitcher wasn't in position, so it adds a ball to the batter to start the inning.
What's the time, Christy, in between innings you have to be in position by?
She has 20 seconds to release the ball, and apparently there was a violation on that.
All right, thank you, Christy Cornwell. So it's on automatic ball 1. So 3 pitches, but it's 2-2. And now Hastings fouls one away, and it's still 2-2. Just had to check off one more thing on our SEC tournament bingo. Hastings, Walker, and Adams. Auburn has scored 25 runs here at the SEC tournament. They must win to seal at least a 500 record for the season. The 2-2 to Hastings. Ground ball snared at first by Erickson. She's as fired up after that play as she was after her tying homer.
Tim Walton has always said about Jocelyn Erickson, yep, she's a Gold Glove back behind the plate, but she's one of the best first basemen that we have too. She could be a Gold Glover there if she played there on an everyday basis. And showing off her glove work, it pays to be a left-handed first baseman there because she just goes to her forehand instead of her backhand, an easier play. At least she made look easy.
Hastings retired for the first time in 5 plate appearances, and now Michaela Walker, who's reached base 3 out of 4. A 1-0 from Rothrock. Auburn hit 2 home runs against Missouri, 5 yesterday against Texas A&M. They've hit 2 today. Any base runner here is going to bring up the tying run. And at this point, they're all power threats for the Tigers. 2-0 to Walker. Hit by a pitch, singled, walked after a strikeout. Only 4 times this season in the SEC has a starting pitcher re-entered and earned the save. That's what Rothrock is trying to do. In a year where she's thrown 49% of Florida's innings. He's trying to complete 4 of the 7 today.
Started seeing that so much more this year, to bring in your ace late in the game, maybe not start them as much. Of course, Keegan Rothrock has started a lot because of Ava Brown's injury, but in your most high leverage innings, bring in your ace pitcher.
3-1. Strike to Walker. Thought she had ball 4. Looked like that pitch was right at the very, very corner of the zone. Maybe just nicked it. A very close one goes Rothrock's way, and now it's 3-2. And Walker is down looking. Rothrock gets her on the inside corner, and Florida's an out away.
Why not go right back to it? This time it's at the knees. It's not as high. Just looks like a fastball in the inside corner. She gets the call. Walker just not expecting it to be called. And when you go into these Auburn power hitters, you have to go hard in just like that.
Second time she struck her out looking. And now Adams. Trying to end the game against the player who's tied an SEC tournament record with a 6 RBI game. Amari Harper did it for Texas A&M a year ago. 1-0 for Anna Lee Adams. 1-1. If you are a potential bubble team right now, you're watching this game and you are as much of a Florida fan as you can be. Auburn at 27-27 has to win this game to become eligible for the NCAA tournament. Adams has to reach base somehow. The 1-1 is a strike. And the Tigers have a strike left. A game where they haven't gone down in order in any of the first 6 innings. They're on the verge of doing just that. 2-2. One of 5 double-digit seeds to win 2 games of the SEC tournament. Obviously the highest seed ever to make it this far. Do they have any magic left in their bats? The 2-2 from Rothrock is inside. Anaya Womack, who has homered off of Rothrock, is on deck. Will she get her shot? A little foul ball will keep the game going. It'll be the 7th pitch for Keegan Rothrock, her 87th on the day. A 3-2 again. Adams puts it in the air to deep left field, and we are far from finished. Annalie Adams sets a new SEC tournament record with her 7th RBI. And the Tigers have life.
So far in relief, Keegan Rothrock has been so good on the corners, except for this pitch. This is middle. And to go into these right-handed power hitters of Auburn, you have to go hard in. If you leave it out over the plate, this is what they have done in the SEC tournament. Now, how big does that Jocelyn Erickson out look at first base to lead off this inning after the Annalie Adams home run and her 7th RBI of the tournament, excuse me, of the game?
Anaya Womack now represents the tying run. First pitch right in there to Womack, who homered off of Rothrock in the 2nd. What an inspiring, astonishing fight shown by this 14-seeded Auburn team. 0-1 to Womack. She takes low. I mean, we cannot say it enough. They lost 25-0 on Saturday, the worst loss in the history of SEC softball. Trying to come back for a 3rd straight day and keep their season alive. And they're down to their final strike again. Womack didn't like that call, and it looked a little inside. A friendly call there by Marty Abzetian for Rothrock to make it 1-2. Again, the Tigers down to their last breath. Again, Rothrock works from the line. And she gets strike 3 to end the game. 10-9 is the final. Florida survives a topsy-turvy game, ends this magical Auburn run, and advances to the SEC semifinals.
Another slugfest, and you see the emotion from Jocelyn Erickson and Keegan Rothrock and Gabby Comia after that team win coming together. They even got out hit by Auburn in this game, but they have the more runs when it's all said and done. And unfortunately for Auburn, some seniors that have shown so much fight in this tournament, their season will be over. I think the positive for them, and it's going to be hard to see this right now, but the experience that they have here and so many returning players, Auburn will be able to draw on this experience and seeing what this team and program is capable of and bring this momentum into their season next year.
And Womack still got the batting helmet on after a couple of pitches that looked to be inside, but went the way of Rothrock. A tough way to go down on this called 3rd strike to end the game.
Back-to-back pitches like that. Both of their strikeouts in this inning were on the inside corner pitches just like that. Talking about when you go in, you have to go hard in. And not only did she get the out, she gets the strikeout, she gets the call, and she got the looking K twice in the 7th inning.
Kendall Grover had the go-ahead hit in the 6th, drove in 3, and she's with Alyssa.
The 2nd inning as well. Kendall, walk us through your at-bats today. What was going through your mind?
Just see the ball big. You know, we worked so hard during the week, and I know that my coaches and my teammates trusted me. So just go up there with the belief that they have in me and just do my job.
Every time Auburn punched, you guys punched back. Where does that fight come from with this team?
You know, we talked about grit all week this week, and I think that's what we showed today. Grit is a huge part of this game, and we showed that today.
You relied on a lot of arms out of your bullpen as well. For Keegan to be able to come in and slam the door like that, what is it like as a team watching that?
You know, that's what she works for. That's what we all work for. And for her to be able to come back and do her job in that inning, that was great. It was awesome.
Coach said that he's been preaching eliminate the distractions. What does that look like for the next 24 hours before you come back here and play in a semi tomorrow?
You know, we celebrate the win, and then we go back and we look towards our next opponent, and we focus on that.
Thanks, Kendall. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Kendall Grover with 3 run-scoring hits in the game, and Auburn, for the second straight game, ties the highest-scoring game in SEC tournament history. 11-8 winners yesterday, 10-9 losers today. What a bummer that this Auburn season ends. We had so much fun watching them, but they finish a game under 500. Thus, they are ineligible for the NCAA tournament, and Florida will await the winner of this game between Alabama and Arkansas. We've still got 3 more games today, and we've got our SEC Now crew on site to bridge the gap between this one and Arkansas, Alabama. Could be another epic matchup coming up next. Here to talk about it, Courtney, Tori, and Haley.